so glad Andrea gave me the memo to wear a blue dress today. Those of you guys who didn't get it, I'm really sorry. We'll do better next time. All right. I don't know many of you guys in this room. I'm Jacqueline Claudia. I'm the founder and CEO of LoveTheWild, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about kind of why we are, what we do, and some shit we've tried that's worked and some that hasn't, frankly. So maybe there's some lessons in it for us. Do I have a real slide?
There you go.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
That was my slide.
Now, since French fries are an ongoing theme in this presentation, what have we learned? Here's what I want to ask you. Does anyone sitting in this room not feel tempted to sneak just one off of that plate? Come on, raise your... Really? Are you human? All right, I'm eating with you because I get them stolen off my plate all the time because they're good, right? Scott mentioned the number of pounds people eat. That translates to 4 servings per week of French fries the average American eats, right? Yeah. And here's the other kicker. The average price of French fries, like in a restaurant, is $6 a pound, right? So I don't want to hear the excuses that fish is really expensive, right? French fries aren't cheap either when you get right down to it. So we know that people are absolutely willing to overlook the data and do what feels good to them at that moment. And this is that moment, and I can relate to this really painfully because I'm a mom of 4 kids, right? Now let me explain to you in my head what's happening in this picture. She's got a suit on, so she schleps it. She goes to an office somewhere. She picked up her kid from daycare. She's going through the grocery store. She's trying to figure out what to eat. The kid's getting ready to knock something off the shelf. He's crying. In her head right now, she is not saying, oh my goodness, what has the highest amount of omega-3s and what has the most efficient feed conversion ratio in this aisle? She's thinking, how do I get out of here as fast as I can, and will he eat it? And will he shut up and go to sleep so I can have my glass of wine and watch my show, right? I live this, okay? So we're asking a lot of people to make them think that way in the store. Here's our next most frequent dining occasion for seafood. Do you think these people are thinking about what's going to serve my brain health and be the most efficient solution for the planet at this very moment? Reward. Okay, I'm really glad you brought that up because I wrote this down and I circled it. I saw pretty compelling data this morning to tell me that can people who are this deficient in omega-3s really even process the reward that they would get from consuming the right amount of food? So I postulate here that maybe we're barking up the wrong tree. Maybe we are just completely approaching this problem in the wrong way. And, you know, I'm running essentially a real-time experiment in how do we get people to eat more seafood, because if they don't eat more of seafood and more of my seafood, like, I need to look for a job, and I'm not really employable at this point. So here's for hoping, right? I think that there's a real huge difference that I've needed to spend a lot of time kind of coming to terms with myself between the goals that we want to see achieved and the tactics that we use to get there. And I think that one thing, if we go back to this picture, everybody's had a dinner like this, and if you haven't, I bet you wish you did, right? Seafood is one of those things that has transportative power. It has the ability to take you back to that place in that moment, right? When you had chicken, where did it take you? You know what I mean? Like, we are not really doing this the right way. So, my goals and my tactics for starting my company, I do this because I care very deeply about population health and very deeply about environmental sustainability and very deeply about the health of our oceans and the health of our fisheries, right? No consumer really gives a shit about that, except for maybe some of the people walking the floor at Expo East, where I just came from. But it doesn't matter if they get that. It doesn't matter if they get all of the health benefits or all of the environmental benefits. We still get that as a planet or a society, whether or not they realize it, as long as they eat it, right? The big win for us is they just have to eat it. So here's what I did. This was our first product line. This is a kit in the grocery store. Goes freezer to plate in about 30 minutes. It's a 6-ounce piece of fish. It's a very clean label sauce, and it comes with a piece of parchment paper. Endlessly hackable. It's a great freezer pantry item. You can stick this thing in your freezer with a bag of frozen veggies, or a bag of frozen quinoa, and you have a dinner that's absolutely healthy, delivers all of the nutrients that you wish you had in under 30 minutes. What could be better, right? Because what we know right now is 91% of seafood is consumed the day it's purchased. And most people don't go to the grocery store every single day. So pantry is a really, really important way that we're going to get people consuming more seafood more regularly. The problem is, two of them, this lives in the seafood department. And if someone is already browsing the seafood department, they're not the problem, right? They're in the store looking for seafood. My seafood might be a little bit more convenient. It might be a little bit better in some ways, but the person who's finding my box is not our target customer, our broadly speaking of how we're going to get people to eat more seafood. So the next product, the one that we just launched last month, is a single-serve microwavable entree that includes sustainable seafood in it. We're taking the seafood to the people, right? $6 billion worth of single-serve microwavable entrees are sold in Walmart alone, okay? So it's a lot easier for a startup and a lot cheaper to piggyback on behaviors that people already have, and then it's a little bit less work for them to be like, which one of these microwavable, ooh, there's a fish one, I know I'm supposed to eat more fish, my family probably won't eat it, I don't want to stink up my house, but man, I could do that for me, right? So we're trying to build demand by making products that are really easy for people, like really easy for people, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And a little quick story on this. First of all, we made these office friendly. I spent 9 months of R&D so that you don't smell it when you microwave it, because no one wants to be that guy, you know? But if we can sneak seafood into lunch, that's a huge win. But my 6-year-old will steal the taco bowl out of my lineup, out of the freezer. She'll climb up on the counter, she'll microwave it by herself, and then she'll go hide behind the couch in the same spot where she used to take Sharpies and color on the wall, and she'll eat it. Okay, and if I catch her, the look on her face is exactly the same as if I had caught her with a pint of Ben & Jerry's, okay? So I think we're onto something. We're doing something right by making like comfort foods for people out of seafood that they really love. And I wanted to just put this up here, not as, making really great food is table stakes in order to get this right. We've won a lot of awards. This isn't even all of them. That's what fit on the page, okay? But the point is, not one of them are seafood awards, right? We compete with food, not with seafood, right? And, if you read, this one was the Prevention Healthy Packaged Foods Award that just came out. There's nothing in there really about, the science and the nutrition or anything. It's like, hey, this tastes good, buy it, it's frozen, So having really, really awesome food products is really where we need to start and where we need to set the bar, okay? This is some of the comments that we get from customers. We get emails, usually, 2 or 3 a day, and I call them love letters. And, being a startup CEO is really, really hard. And some days I cry, usually once or twice a day. But these things kind of keep you going, right? This is the kind of stuff people say, and I want you to just listen, right? I love, love, love wild. Yeah. It's the literally better fish than I've had at a restaurant in years. Lordy be, am I glad I bought this product. I'll be buying more. It's the best fish I put in my mouth. You make dinner time the happiest time of day for my family. I drive to a store that has your products just to stock up. Oh my God, I made this. It's amazing. I sent the pictures, right? No one here is saying, I got so many omega-3s out of this, and this made my second serving of seafood per week so easy. That's not how they're connecting, right? People are having these emotional responses, right? Because we need things to kind of connect our hearts to. And they share this stuff. I complete this person. I actually laughed really hard when this came up on our Facebook because I'd waited my whole life for someone to say, you complete me. And my husband's not the Jerry Maguire guy, so this did it for me, but, we are reaching people on an emotional level, and I think this is where we need to start if we want to change how people consume seafood. And then they share it, right? Some of these funny things. My favorite is the one in the middle. This was an Instagram story, which is like a short video. So easy, watch me do it drunk. And they did it. They got it done. It wasn't pretty, but boy, was it funny. And it was funnier to me that they wanted to make an Instagram story out of this, right? Pretty cool. And they love the packaging, right? So a lot of people tell us we make frozen fish adorable, right? So we're really trying to connect with people, and they're trying to connect with other people too. And this is one of the things that we did as a company that's really been working for us, is we list on the back of every product that we sell exactly where that fish came from, down to the name of a person. And we had some people, some farms that we work with, be really hesitant to put someone's name on there. And I realized after the fact, because they'd be responsible for it then, right? So if they ship me bad product, it reflects bad on them individually. But you would not imagine the connection that people have when they hear someone's name. Oh, this is Josh's fish? Oh, well, if it's Josh's fish, maybe I'll give it a try, or you actually know where this came from. And then we went a little bit deeper, and we did a whole series last year of Ask a Fish Farmer, and we went online and we said, what questions would you want to ask a fish farmer? What do you want to know? And we got in a whole bunch of random questions, some really good ones, like what did the fish eat? And, tell me about this stuff that I'm hearing in the media, right down to like what happens to the poop, right? And we turned around and we asked the fish farmers this, and we made these blog posts. And to this day, these are some of the pages on our website that get the most hits. But it's because it allowed them to connect with them as a people, right? Like if you read these posts, you'll read about how Omar at the Striped Bass Farm was really sweating about introducing his new father-in-law to his business and trying to convince him that like being a fish farmer was a legit thing to do, and it was okay to let his daughter marry him, and how like it was just the perfect day when he finally took him out to the fish farm. There was a dolphin and a rainbow, and Wes Eason, people love the fact that when he first started out in the business, it was a family business, third-generation trout farm. He started working on the farm like when he was 12, 13 years old. The guys who worked there used to haze him and make him take the wheelbarrows of like guts, right? And he would like try to do it hungover sometimes, and he would end up puking in the wheelbarrow. But it's these kind of things that like people connect to that really allow them to build a relationship with the food that they have that, is an enduring one. And then, once you connect with them, you earn the right to have a deeper conversation with them. Once they're kind of sucked in, they want to learn more. They want to go a little bit deeper. And we use things like this infographic to help them kind of consume some of the data that they're hearing in a way that's user-friendly and approachable. And we use Instagram and a lot of digital media platforms. And since I'm probably one of the only non-PhDs up here, and this is the State of the Science Symposium. This is my one piece of data. Can you guys guess what were the best performing posts up there? Come on, here's some guesses. What else? Yep. So what we've learned, and your mileage may vary because we're a brand, right? Cute animals crush on social media, followed closely by heart-shaped nature images. Maybe it's special to us, I don't know. But just to kind of show you then what we've learned is, you can take clickbait, which is really what we're all after, right? We want some attention for sustainable seafood and the right decisions, and then use it to tie back to a message that's really important to us. So, in this caption, we talk about how with aquaculture, there's no bycatch. And so little turtles like this can grow up and lead a healthy, long life, right? And if you go back to the example of people who are deficient in omega-3s and DHAs, a lot of them have service animals, because even when they're not able to connect with other humans or connect with, jobs or higher level functions, they can still hug a dog and they still have the same emotional responses to animals. So I don't know, maybe there's some science there, maybe there's not. Polar bears, right? Clickbait. But then the caption brings it back to, when we make responsible and sustainable seafood choices, we leave more fish in the sea to help this poor mama out, okay? These are the kinds of things that are connecting and resonating with our consumers and getting them to buy our seafood and eat it a lot more often. And when we had Leonardo DiCaprio, who's an investor in our company, an advisor in our company, make us his New Year's resolution this year, we got 338,000 positive likes with an aquaculture post. I think this might be a new world record. But we're able to use influencers to drive awareness, much like Seafood Nutrition Partnership does, to great seafood and the reason why it's important and how it supports kind of this larger problem that we're trying to solve. And so with that, I will kind of leave you with the working hypothesis mission statement for our company, which is really around, we make great food that's good for your body and good for the planet, and that the right choices for the planet are also the right choices for your plate. So go ahead and enjoy. This is good stuff.